Hi there, I'm JC Pride. So I just want to give a bit of an overview of some of my medical complexities, and the topic for today is my tracheostomy. So I had a tracheostomy, which is like a tube that goes in your throat, prevents you from vocalizing, but what it does is it helps protect your airways, I believe, because there's actually a balloon kind of in it that's. What's the opposite of deflated? Inflated? It's buoyant. Anyway, but there's a balloon in there that protects your airways and helps redirect the saliva so you don't do what's called aspirating. Aspirating is when liquid goes down the wrong hole. Now, for those of you out there who think you can choke on liquid, you cannot. You can only choke on things that obstruct your airways, and liquid is not one of those. So you aspirate, which means it goes into your lungs, and generally you'll cough, which is a good thing because that brings it up and out. So yeah, I had that tracheostomy, and then they told me, well, they thought I was never gonna get it removed, but I'm like, you don't know me. But anyway, so I got that removed, and then I had this kind of red fleshy hole that was like an indent, and it was really gross, and it was just an eyesore to me, and like it bothered me aesthetically, so I went and got a tracheostomy revision. So that, because they like, we can just sew this up, but because to actually put the tracheostomy in, we have to remove the fat from the area. So if we were to sew it up, there's a very high chance that it will still sink, and you will still have that, deficit in your throat. So, like, what we can do alternatively is we can make the incision along here, and then we can take the fat from some fat from this area, put it into this area so it doesn't turn to a sinkhole again. So that's what I did, and there were various fundamental stages. Basically, right after I had that revision, I had a gnarly scar right across here. It was freaking deadly. It was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, but through years and years of putting on vitamin C cream and rubbing that into my skyline, now it's hardly visible, but it was very much visible at first. I also additionally I had the tracheostomy and trouble redirecting my fluid because I actually have a partially paralyzed left vocal fold, so I don't know if this is the primary function, because I know the speech pathologist, but I know a function of the vocal folds is when you eat and drink, they actually close over and protect your airways. So my left vocal fold was partially paralyzed, so it sat down here, so only the right one was moving. So to counteract that, what they did was a nasal endoscopy, which is where they put a camera up your nose and go down your throat, and then that enabled them to actually see what they were doing. And the next step of that was to inject filler into my vocal fold, which means I just sit there wide awake with the camera on my nose, fidgeting around there. Someone putted a needle into my throat and injected this filler into the fold so it could add plumpness. So I'm like, it didn't need to move, it was just plumped up, so it just sat there now. So the right one's just moving, protecting the airways, but there's still, that space to breathe and that. So like, that was all. I just synopsized that in however long, but that was like 6 years of baggage. And it was a very, very involved process. Also, obviously, I have a bit of a speech impediment, so that is dysarthria, which is I don't know the clinical term, but it's a lack of ability to articulate and form your words correctly, and so that everything is intelligible. But as well as a difficulty to articulate, I had to have various stages of learning to eat again. So when you're learning to eat, not a lot of people actually know this, but speech pathologists as well are in charge of all this area. That includes food consumption, how it moves. They did a lot of things. They did like barium swallows, which is where they kind of put dye and then they put you in this machine and it x-rays you and sees how it travels and all that. But anyway, I also have had dysphonia. Yeah, I think it's dysphonia, which is the trouble in swallowing and eating and all that. So it wasn't just eating that was the problem, it was literally swallowing saliva. Like, so I had that trachea for a while. I was fed through a peg in my stomach, and when they removed that, I would gladly be kicked in the balls 10 million times rather than feel that again. Honestly, that was... Ooh. But yeah, so I'm not sure if I left anything out, but I probably did, because I try and leave the past in the past, but I remembered as much as came to mind, and I hope that was informative to you, and if not, see ya! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my beautiful story, and please stay tuned, because it gets interesting.